top of your screen. He has the football, puts a move on, got a first down. Kamara down the sideline. Good morning, America, how are you? I said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
This is the first video on an individual player that is not a quarterback, and it's been a fun experience to work on this. Mostly because it didn't really feel like work at all. Alvin Kamara's tape is a beauty to watch, and I would do it again just to watch it. Great football film is better than any movie to me because it's an art form in its own right, and the Saints' emerging superstar is one of the most talented artists in his field. As always, I will show you a signature play that stood out to me and break it down carefully in my analysis. But first, I have a quick prelude to set up further proceedings. Kamara has a severe case of what I refer to as the Barry Sanders syndrome. That is, he's undervalued because of how easy what he does looks. People make difficult things look easy and get credit for it. But when they make things look too easy, some of that credit is withheld because viewers will get to a point of thinking, if it looks that easy, it can't be that hard. And I'm not saying Barry Sanders didn't get any credit. He's viewed as one of the greatest running backs of all time. But the truth is, he's the greatest running back of all time. And it isn't particularly close when really considering the circumstances of everyone in that argument. A guy like Emmitt Smith is all-time great, but wouldn't touch Barry Sanders in a vacuum. However, this is tougher for a lot of people to really envision because an individual player never compares himself to others in a vacuum. It's the same effect that gets people to argue Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers, which one might be easily inclined to do after just a look at their respective accomplishments. With the trouble being that accomplishments don't necessarily offer an exact reflection on someone's individual talent. And I know this is a broad controversy, so I won't get into that in this video. The important note to take away from this, and the point I'm trying to make, is that even though Kamara is still recognized as a promising dynamic playmaker across the league and he won Rookie of the Year, that's still not enough credit. Take a look at this play and think for a second what your initial response was. I bet you a lot of you thought, well, that was pretty easy, he went untouched for a few yards and was gifted a free 2-point conversion. And that's what I'm gunning for here. Let's put this play under the microscope and see if I can't change your mind. Let's hit the play art first. We can clearly tell on film that this run is designed to go to the left. Since the Buccaneers' right defensive end is lined up wide, that gives Teron Armstead at left tackle virtually no chance to reach him and block him towards the inside, meaning this play will go off guard. You can see Max Unger and left guard Josh Laribas initially double teaming Gerald McCoy before Laribas tries to disengage to climb to the next level and block the linebacker in the hole. That's a pretty good sign the run was designed that way. They just need 2 yards, so running it behind the double team makes sense. As the play unfolds, there's a small problem with that idea though. Both linebacker Lavonte David, number 54, and Chris Conti, number 23, are blitzing, and they are blitzing right up Kamara's alley, in every sense of the word. The defensive play is the perfect play call to stop this run in its tracks. They're sending heat right into the heart of this play call and shifting the remaining linebackers over. Aside from Le'Veon Bell, Kamara is the only player in the league who scores here, because what he made seem so easy requires an enormous amount of ability in 2 ways. The first is quick vision and awareness. Kamara sees the blitz now. He essentially had the vision to spot that the play wasn't going to work as drawn up after he and Lavonte David each took their very first step. He saw this through a bulk of linemen in front of him, and despite the fact that he doesn't even have the ball yet. That's how fast it clicked in his mind, and it absolutely had to. David arrives at the line of scrimmage way earlier than Kamara. If the running back doesn't see it right away, he won't have the time to adjust later. He won't be able to stop his momentum, and he will either slip or run right into all kinds of people and lose 3 yards. Which brings me to the second demonstration of excellence that Kamara pulls out on this play. His balance, his body control is amazing. See how he makes his cut here to get back inside right after the handoff. He stops so abruptly that he skates forward a little like he's on ice skates, except that he's wearing cleats and he's running on turf. Also consider that he's at close to full speed here. After he gets the handoff, he is running faster at this point than most of us ever did in our lives. Try this when you get some time. Put on some cleats, get on the field, and try to stop within 6 inches while in full sprint. It looks so smooth when Kamara does it, but the reality is everyone but a professionally trained athlete of the highest level would have their knees and ankles implode under the force of this cut, let alone be able to maintain balance and keep upright. This footwork reminded me a lot of a certain Detroit running back who may or may not have been mentioned in this video before. Again, that's not to say that I hold Alvin Kamara to be equal to Barry Sanders, but he certainly has those smooth and twitchy MC Hammer feet to make people trying to tackle him look silly. And in this case, he made the entire defense look silly and his offensive line look amazing in the process. Alvin Kamara is a top 3 running back in the NFL right now. Obviously, the Saints are one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year, and I believe that their personnel quality is good enough to do it. They need to get their defense to show up. I think the Saints' offense is the best in the league, and Kamara is the main reason for that, alongside Drew Brees, of course. Their 2017 draft class can go down as one of the best individual draft hauls of all time. I consider Kamara to be easily the best running back in that class. A class, mind you, that featured Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt, and Joe Mixon, among others. What I didn't even mention in this video is Kamara's ability to catch the football from every position. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if Kamara became only the 3rd running back in the NFL history to amass 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in one season, after only Roger Craig and Marshall Faulk. That concludes today's analysis. Real quick, I had the idea to do a pro or historical comparisons for the rookie quarterbacks from this year's draft class. Though I already talked about individual ones, and my opinions on Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are really clear, I would like to create a project where I look at all their styles under a microscope once again and find the best comparison from the past. Let me know if you're interested in seeing it. And with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did so, please leave a like and consider to subscribe to my channel, Beyond Football. I'll gladly entertain any inspiration and discussions in the comments, so feel free to voice your opinions. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.